Good evening, everyone. My name is Pamela Ford, Executive Director of New Day Employment Network, and I want to thank you for being here with us this evening. This space was created with intention because we understand that healing doesn't happen in silence, and growth doesn't happen when we hide the truth of our experiences. Tonight's conversations, Life Without Filters, Exposing the Picture, is about honesty. It's about what happens when we stop carrying everything alone and start giving ourselves permission to be seen, heard, and understood. Through our Healing Illinois work, we've committed to creating spaces just like this, where real conversations can happen, where stories are not judged, and healing becomes possible through connection. It is my honor to introduce an incredible voice in that work, author Tanzania Winfrey. Her story, her perspective, and her willingness to speak truthfully about pain, growth, and transformation is exactly why we are here this evening. So I invite you all to lean in, to listen openly, and reflect honestly as we begin this conversation. Thank you, Tanzania, so much.
Thank you.
Yes, let's just get right on into this. Was there a moment in your life where you realized that you could no longer hide the truth?
Yes. So maybe a few years ago, I hit rock bottom, and I just couldn't do the performing. It was just draining me to act like I was afloat, and I just looked up and I just started praying to God, and that's when I got my real answer. And I felt like the Spirit told me, you know what you're supposed to be doing. And I already been saying all my life that I was going to write a book, but I was just joking around, so I planted that seed. And I started going back through my journals, and I started looking at all this pain that I wrote. And I realized, I can do something with this pain and turn it into a purpose.
What part of your journey was the hardest to face, but ended up shaping you the most?
Moving. Moving to Atlanta that's broke the ground. I was away, but I connected so deeply with my kids, and I knew that they looked up to me. So just going back and forth of writing and getting them where I needed them to be, introducing them to God, and forming relationships and stuff. And it was just a day-to-day process. It was just really a day-to-day process. But moving to Atlanta was definitely groundbreaking for me. And I was scared because I'm like, all these new people, but them new people was the people I needed to get me to where I'm at. New faces. Introducing me to where I need to be, just kind. I ain't used to that. I wasn't used to that. I'm like, oh, why they being so kind to me? They don't know me. So I wasn't used to that. So once I met a few people, and they was like, oh, you do that? Oh, I can help you with this. I know somebody can do that, And we was writing and introducing and going to church, started going to church and meeting a whole lot of different people. And that's how, it was just groundbreaking for me moving to Atlanta.
Now, for someone in our room who is still carrying their story in silence, what would you say to them?
I would say that by carrying your pain in silence, it's controlling your whole narrative. So by being authentic and being free, releasing it, whether it's through prayer, meditation, just simply writing like I did, is definitely needed to be out, because once that pain is out, it has no control over you. So that's what I was letting certain things of pain, reliving it, control me. But once I was authentic, and I say, I let you have your space and place, but you no longer have a space right here. I released it.
Wow. How did you move from pain to growth, and what helped you stay committed to that process?
Faith. Every day, just every day was a different fight. But just staying in the process of wanting more. I know it was something more. Just wanting more. Reading my Bible. Forming a real personal relationship with God definitely was the first. I know I always had a relationship with God, but just having an intimate relationship with God definitely shaped me to say, you've been through it. You already know who's best to tell this story but you. Other people that go through pain and they hear from somebody else that has pain, it's more welcoming versus somebody just telling them because they done read stuff and therapists and they went to school for it. But somebody that has an authentic story to say, I've been through that too. So I had to hear it, a couple of times from people, and I said, dang, I thought I was the only one going through that, but you're really not the only one going through it. So just, connecting that pain with my purpose.
So who were you before the world told you who you had to be?
I was TT, I was pretending, I was trying to stay afloat with this environment of people that I thought, was my tribe. And pretending, and I was doing stuff, pretending and saying yes, and every time I did, it was like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. And when I when I met my tribe finally, it was the most freeing experience. I felt like I always had to, I'm always the jokester, I'm always the life of the party, but meeting people that bring all the energy into a circle is next level. So then I can be me. I don't have to pull so much from me, and I want to go around these people. Accountability, whether it's church, my gym crew. So when I felt that who I really was, and it was more welcoming, then I can be creative. I can create in a space. I'm very creative, so I like to create in a space where I'm not drained. So,
what did you have to unlearn to become the person you are today?
A lot. A lot. Oh gosh. And this is no fault to my parents, or I think like everybody lives somebody's program. We live, and we can't fault them because, they only did what was best off their survival. Unlearning a lot of things told, family hurt, that's my first hurt, family hurt, unlearning, we got social media, so that's another thing, everything that appears ain't real, and just taking the moment to go pull back and just really go deep into learning. I had to learn myself all over again. I had to learn my kids. I had to introduce new me to them. So it was a lot of unlearning that was set in their head, that was our survival. Introducing that new side to my mom, my sister, my dad, and my dad always saw it, but just introducing that new side of me, actually living it, not just like pretending. But I had to unlearn a lot of things. I had to unlearn greed, I unlearn heartbreak. It was a lot of things that I had to go through to get to where I'm at.
What's the truth that you avoided for a long time? And what changed when you finally faced it?
Accountability. Just knowing that the life that I thought that was requested or required, just learning a lot of different things to say that I was accountable, no matter what happened or how it happened. If it was even somebody that did something to me, I still was accountable because I placed myself in a position. So accountability, definitely. A lot of times people don't want to be accountable because it hurts. It makes you revisit the pain. It's saying that I was wrong, but it's freeing. So accountability was definitely that.
Can you talk about a moment when everything felt like it was falling apart, but it was actually coming together?
Yes. I was in this big old house, and everything was just, I moved. I said I was gonna move it back. I was like, no, I can't do this. It was like 2-3 years I was in Atlanta. I was like, no, I can't do this. Well, anyways, I moved into this big house, and I was like, everything is just falling apart. The lights, I think something with the lights, we just switched the thing over in time. I had so much going on, I forgot to put the lights in my name. The lights was off and everything was going, so why, why is this happening? And I was looking up and I was praying. I was like, man, if I can just get to where I'm supposed to be for my kids. It's all about my kids, God. If you don't grant me nothing, grant my kids some grace. And I'm telling you, 5 minutes later, the lights came on. I talked to the people, just explaining. I paid the deposit. I was talking to them. The lights came on, and I got offered a job. It was just like that simple breakthrough, So I was like, if I can really, really live this, I don't want to just be asked and I'd agree like this is a one-time thing. I really need to know who God is now. But I was at my lowest. I just started a job, and I spent everything I had to get these kids in the house, everything. And I explained to them, my kids is so understanding. I said, listen, we don't have nothing, but y'all rocking with me and I'm rocking with y'all. But I promise you one thing, I'm gonna get us there. Just, it might not be no Christmas or nothing. There's a mama, we don't want that. We just want you. So that right there was my freeing moment, saying, nah, I get it.
Whew.
I get it.
What did silence cost you?
Yes. Relationships. Relationships that I knew, I grew up with, saying, man, we grew up together. It cost me a lot. But I gained way more than I lost being silent. I had to pull back from me. I had to really go into the course of why did I go through this, and going forward, how I'm going to keep, growing. That was when I got the want to grow and writing and really doing the work. Like, I was so addicted to that the silence was like, it's okay. You're gonna lose. God told me, like, you're gonna lose a lot of people that you love. But I guarantee you, I'm going to replace you with so many more friends, so many more family members, so many more sisters that you ain't gonna be able to count. So I had to go into that mode to say, okay, I trust you.
And what changed when you finally faced it?
When I finally faced it, I was like, I'm living now. Like, this is what, it don't matter if it took 50 years. This is well worth it. And, you know, the relationships and the networks and the happiness I feel around certain people, the freedom. You know, like my old environment, if I would have been like, I was always this person, but if I would have been expressing this side of me, it was like, what is you talking about? So this, you know, new environment I'm in, it's more like, yes, you know, cheering me, just accountability, calling me, praying for me. Hey, you know, sending me good morning texts every morning. We wish you, you know, well, and I know everything is good, supportive. Like, God sent me so many strangers to support me, to, you know, like, I'm like, okay, I see it now, you know.
Wow. Was there a time when you told your truth and it wasn't received well? And how did you keep going?
I just did this. I just did this. I don't want to give it too much credit, but I just told somebody this, and I said, I am on an assigned contract with my life. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I can't let you compromise that. My life was signed. I told God I'm giving my life to this, so I'm on a signed contract, and it was just kind of like, you know, okay, you know, I hear you, but I'm like, no, I'm serious, and I don't know how to express, you know, like, you can tell somebody, well, God told me to do this, or God told me to do that, but when you know that you're supposed to be doing it, you can say it one time, they can either respect it, but then sometimes, like I said, the devil will plant seeds to pull you out of that contract as well. So I felt that, and when I felt that, I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna work for me. It's not gonna work, because I'm dedicating my life to this. You know, I'm dedicating my life to healing. I'm dedicating my life to growth. I'm dedicating my life to reflecting. I'm really want to be that. I'm not pretending anymore.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. Just take a breath. Take a breath. That's a lot. That's a lot. What does healing look like on the days when it doesn't feel strong or inspiring?
Yes. Still journaling. Even though I did the book, I still journal, and it's gonna create, you know, like a part 2. So I still journal. I still pray hard. I go to church. I show up. I support. I gym. I go to the gym and, you know, push through. I feel good when I leave there, and when I get back home, I'll be like, okay, it's okay, you know, like, let it live and have its moment, whatever pain it is, and face it. And once you face it, process it, and then we got to move forward tomorrow.
With saying that, in your opinion, what part of the healing do people not talk about enough?
The accountability, the doing the work, the nastiness.
The grunt
because it
work.
look good when you heal.
Yeah.
But
The grunt work.
The going through that nasty phase and the ugly phase is ugly, but it's worth the push through. If you can kill if your old self can die to everything to be reborn, it's like so worth it. It's like this is living, this is breathing. Your breathing starts feeling different. You start attracting exactly who you are.
Amen.
You start pulling the people that you need. Like, even doing this interview I was saying about you, I was just like, wow, when Pam called, when you called me, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do it. But then I was like, but even you made me reflect on, I was always writing. And I didn't even notice that you noticed that. So I'm like, wow.
She used to do my hair when she was here, and she was always journaling. Like, what is she doing?
In between clients,
yes.
I was just writing just little stuff, like things, and picturing myself quantum leaping to places where I know that I should be doing. Like, I know I'm bigger than this environment I'm in. I just needed to change the environment.
And you've been talking a lot about accountability. At what point did you take full accountability for your own healing, not just what happened to you?
I took full accountability. I had the lady, I'm going to say her name, Peaches, she helped me edit the book, and she does therapy and stuff. We always talk. And I wrote a note to myself, and I apologized to my childhood. I apologized to myself and said it's okay that I went through what I went through. And I'm accountable for who I hurt. And in the process, and I forgive myself, and I apologize to those. You know, it's just environment, and we all grow through things, and just being accountable and recognizing it is the first door opener. You know, you recognize it, then you go through the door and saying, okay, you recognize it. Now we're gonna process that, and we're gonna do the work to keep growing.
Well, you just answered my next question, and the question was, how do you balance honoring your past without letting it define your future?
Yes, it happened, so we have to allow it to be there. I feel like every story has, you want to hear, like people be wanting to hear the pain and the, how you get over the pain, but we can't let the pain overweigh the goodness that's coming, you know. So the pain is the root, and that's what I always used to tell Peaches, like, I identified the root, and when you just go to the root, it just kills everything. Like, it took a minute for me to get to the root, but I was always doing the pointing. Like, I was quick to blame. Oh, it was because of this, because of that, and then I had to go inward. So when I went inward and I dealt with the root, then I'm like, okay, now I get it. So when I dealt with that root, it helped moving forth with growth, because now I know what triggers I ain't going around. You know what I'm saying? Now
Give us an example.
So, okay, so I used to, well, I still like to party a little bit, but not like that. But I went out when, it's my birthday. So I was like, okay, we just gonna stop it here. God was like, yeah, stop it right there. Have the barbecue, and you stop it right there. But I wanted to keep going because my old environment came around, and I was just like, it felt good, and we out partying. And they was like, well, Taz, we gonna go here. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go home. And then I said, well, no, they here. I'm gonna go there. I went there. And we in the middle of the parking lot, and some chaos happened, and some bread crate came out the sky and hit me on my head. And it hit me then, God told you to go home. And I said, dang. So now when I say the first time, like, I'm not going to, if God said, no, you stop it right there, oh, I'm stopping it right there. You ain't got to tell me twice.
No, but that's important, because it just sort of goes right into the next segue, is like, did your growth require you to outgrow people, places, and patterns? And what did it cost you?
It did. It definitely, I definitely had to outgrow people. I had to, like we was talking about the Michael Jackson movie, I had to stand on my no, and it hurted me. Like, I could be at home and I could be watching I'm like, man, they having fun, but I was like, I can't go. Like, it wasn't like a bad I can't go, but it was like, I'm requiring you to take the time out to build yourself.
To level up.
So a lot of distractions, they're just distractions. So you're gonna either go, when you get to your growth, they're gonna either be inspired by you, or they're gonna fall off. You outgrowing people. So either way, you're gonna win. Because, like I said, he connected me with so many more people that is on the same path of healing, or just on the path I just wanna just talk, or just wanna be around. Like, sometimes you be around good people and it just uplifts your spirits, like some people. And that's why I feel like, for me, I go around people, they could be sad. I'd be like, come on, you know, and I just uplift that spirit. That makes me feel good. Like, yes, I'm doing the work then.
So how do you protect your peace in ways that you didn't before?
Saying no. Protecting my peace, just pulling back, saying no, balancing. So I always, this is my person, you always talk about balance. So balance for me is my kids. Like, it's important. Like, I have said no and sacrificed so much for not going to places to be with them. It's important to me because they're going to grow up one day and they're going to have their own life. So I don't want their story to be, mom was always busy, she was always with these people, or she was always doing this, or she was always working. So that's one of my balances, my kids, the gym, you know, just protecting my peace in that. And when I'm in that mode, or even if I'm in the gym, that's the freest moment in my mind. Like, that's the freest moment. I'm not doing a million things at once. I'm present. And a lot of things come to my mind when I'm in the gym. So, you know, just protecting my peace like that. Not answering the phone all the time for folks. You already know they're gonna call you and they complaining. So I just be like, why I'm finna invite that in my day? Now I'm 2 or 3 hours out because I'm thinking about what she done said. You know, so just knowing the balance of the rhythm of folks.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what do you think that people are holding on to that's quietly holding them back the more you talk to people?
Forgiveness, pain, just forgiving it. If it's a parent, a sibling, you know, an ex, a lot of people, oh my gosh, a lot of people hold on to pain with exes. Like, it takes so much more energy to hate somebody than to simply forgive them. Stop trying to be right. Stop going back and forth. When you stop talking, it puts the other person is just like, some people like to get you in that lower vibe, that lower vibrational energy. If they can get you to argue and bring you down there, they won. You ain't even won the argument, they won. So just walking away and forgiving it, giving it its peace, and walking away, because you could be doing so much more instead of wasting time, distracted, arguing, going back and forth. Some people are meant to be toxic, and that's what they're gonna be. And that's all they know how to be.
So if someone is afraid to face the truth, what's the one step they can take tonight, not tomorrow, but tonight, to put them on the right path?
Going to the root, forgiveness, and just really having a relationship, like an intimate, real relationship with God. Like, that's been the number one flex. I'm like, I always had a relationship with him, but I've never intimately had a relationship where, like, I'm calling on him like I'm calling my friends. Like, hey, I got this, you know, what you think about this? Like, I'm calling, literally saying, I'm gonna run this by you, what you think, you know, waiting on the answer. So just really having a real relationship with God, because when I say I asked him to order my steps, I'm like, every day I say the same prayer, and it's like, yeah, it's happening. It took maybe like 2 years. I'm going through the prayer, and I'm like, okay, I don't see nothing happening, but I'm gonna stay faithful with it. And he's like, all right, in due time, in the right time, I'm gonna place you. So just definitely having a relationship with God is definitely the number one.
And the last couple more questions here. What does growth speaking louder than grief look like in your life today?
So I'm here. I'm here right now. So where Joliet is so, it's how should I say? It's a give and take relationship for me. Like, a lot of pain happened here, but a lot of growth happened here as well. So the pain that happened here that was years ago is now in my growth season because I recognized it. So it serves as a purpose. What should else I say? I know you're gonna edit it. Growth outweighs a lot of things. Grief, you know, you can face it and it can be present, but then after so long, if you stay in a grieving state, it starts to pull, you know, drain your body. So you want to recognize it and you want to say, okay, I write down what happened to get me to this grief. Then I say, okay, so now I know that that's a trigger. I identify it, and now moving forward in the next season, we're not gonna get back in this state, you know. And if we do get in this state, we know how to get out of it quickly.
And the last question I have for you is, what do you hope your story gives permission for others to do?
I hope that it just gives you permission to be free. That has been the most rewarding out of this journal and this journey is the freedom. It's been so much like distractions, roadblocks. The freedom to express exactly who you are is definitely freeing. And I just felt like, you know, in telling the story, I always, when I did it, I said something to a friend. I said, you know how people will stay, you know, in your final days at a funeral, and they say what they thought of you in your life. How did you want your life to be spoken about? And they come up with their summary of the fun things you did and the laughter. And what if that one thing that frees you never is spoken? So that's what made me write the journal.
Wow.
Because a lot of people didn't know this about me. My kids, nobody would be able to tell my kids, like, your mom was really this person. They said she was so fun and funny, and she always cracking jokes, she always danced. But like, your mom really did work. She really had a relationship with God, you know, and stuff like that. So I said, I'm gonna break the cheat code, and I'm gonna tell my own story. You know, so that was like the most freeing moment. Like, I'm like, no, I'm bypassing everybody that want to have something good to say about me. I'm gonna say who I really am, who I am, you know, and who I always been. I just was in a different environment, and being comfortable in an environment to say, I can use that for something. Yeah, I can use that for something, because it freed me, so I can free others. If I don't free nothing but one person, then that was the purpose.
And God can use every hurt.
Yeah, every hurt.
He can use every hurt.
I think that sometimes that's why he put us through, like, who's best to tell. I used to always say, why is you coming for me? Well, who best? I mean, you the strongest one. Like, I'm not going to put too much more on your plate that you can't bear. So who else best to tell the story than you? You've been the strongest one.
And who knows you better than you?
Right. You know, he's like, some of this stuff would have broke people down and they would have been in the grave. He said, you still showing the devil like we here. Yeah.
Well, I am, for one, first of all, it's like, I am so incredibly proud of you.
Thank you.
You know, it's like, you know, to whom much is given, much is required. And you have walked this walk, and it is now time for you to swim. You know, it is time for you to swim, because this is your season.
Yes.
This is your season. And anytime you can, you know, be honest and truthful, and you can be around the people that know you or knew you,
yeah,
because you're a different person today.
Yeah.
You're going to meet people this evening. I mean, see people this evening that knew you back then.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of knowing that you know that you've changed for the better.
Yeah.
But God.
Yeah, but God.
But God. Thank you, Tanzania, for your honesty, your courage, and your willingness to share your story in such a real and powerful way. And thank you to everyone who showed up this evening, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. These conversations require presence, and that matters. What you heard this evening wasn't just a story. It was a reminder a reminder that healing is not linear, a reminder that growth often comes through discomfort, and a reminder that when we stop filtering our truth, we create space not only for our own healing, but for others to begin theirs too. This is what community looks like. This is what Healing Illinois makes possible. And this is the work that we will continue to do through New Day Employment Network. As you leave this evening, I encourage you to sit with what you heard. Reflect on your own story. And most importantly, give yourself permission to own it. Because growth will always speak louder than grief. Thank each and every one of you for being a part of this with us.
Thank you.